When did you realize someone was getting on your nerves? I was 12 years old when my stepmother tried to make me replace her dead daughter. When Dad introduced me to Martha, she stared at me like I was a ghost, and something about it made me want to run. Later, I learned her daughter Katie had looked just like me. Straight blonde hair, blue eyes, same height and body shape. When I mentioned the resemblance at dinner one night, Martha's eyes filled with tears, and she reached across the table for my hand. That's when Martha promised she saw me as Amy and would love me as my own person, not as a replacement for Katie. She said I could call her mom whenever I felt ready, and that she understood these things take time. For the first few months, she really did seem like the perfect stepmother. She bought me art supplies when I mentioned liking to draw and hung my sketches all over the refrigerator with little notes about how talented I was. She enrolled me in this elite swim team across town after I said I enjoyed swimming at the community pool, and Dad was amazed she'd found such a good program so quickly. Martha even started this tradition of Tuesday movie nights where I got to pick what we watched, and she'd make popcorn and braid my hair while we sat on the couch together. The cracks started showing about 6 months later when Martha changed my entire swim training schedule to match some old program she'd saved, saying it would make me more competitive. She started braiding my hair every morning before school in these elaborate crown braids, and when I tried to take them out, she'd get this hurt look and fix them again. She also began buying me these specific purple and blue swimsuits, donating my black one while I was at school. I didn't understand why she was doing these things until I borrowed her laptop for homework and accidentally opened a folder labeled Katie's Memories. Inside were hundreds of photos of a girl who looked exactly like me with the same crown braids, wearing the same purple swimsuits, following the exact training schedule Martha had given me at the same pool where I practiced. The more I looked, the more I found, and the truth was beyond disturbing. Katie had drowned at summer camp the previous year and had been a competitive swimmer just like me, and now Martha had been slowly turning me into her dead daughter. That night I showed Dad everything on Martha's laptop and watched his face go from confused to horrified as he realized what she'd been doing. He hugged me tight and kept apologizing for not seeing it sooner. Then he called my aunt to ask if I could stay with her while he dealt with Martha. While I was gone, he made her remove every single item of Katie's from our house, and when he told her their marriage was over, she completely broke down. Dad said she screamed that her daughter was dying all over again because of him. She kept sobbing and trying to show him how much I looked like Katie in the photos, not understanding that was exactly the problem. When she was finally out of the house, Dad got me into therapy, and the therapist helped me understand none of this was my fault. Still, I quit swimming because being in the water made me feel like I was drowning in someone else's life. I also legally changed to my middle name because I needed to hear my own name without flinching. The divorce was finalized within 6 months, and Dad and I moved to a new house where I could start fresh. Martha tried reaching out a few times, claiming she deserved credit for my swim achievements and saying I was being dramatic about needing therapy, completely unaware that I was healing specifically because she was gone. She stopped calling after a while until 18 years passed, and she called me out of nowhere once again. She told me she was engaged to a widower with a teenage daughter. His late wife had been his childhood sweetheart, and he only saw Martha as a replacement for her, never as herself. He'd accidentally called Martha by his dead wife's name multiple times and kept asking her to change things about herself to match his former wife. Martha was breaking down, begging me to tell him she deserved to be loved as Martha, not as a ghost. I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. I told her I couldn't help because she'd never learned that lesson herself. She'd spent so long trying to force me into being Katie instead of seeing me as Amy. She started sobbing harder, telling me that I didn't understand, that I was all she had left of Katie. She still wasn't hearing what I was saying, and that was enough for me to hang up on her. Later, I found out the engagement ended when she couldn't handle being treated as a replacement. She was left alone again, finally knowing the pain of being seen as someone else's ghost instead of who she really was.